You ready?
Sure.
Okay, let's get this party started, Greg.
Yep.
Hey, everybody. We are in episode 1 of Weaver Radio. I am Joe Workman.
I am Greg Barshard.
Excellent. And I am so excited, Greg. I thank you for asking me to do this podcast because I've been wanting to do a podcast for so long. And I have all the cool apps for years, been paying for updates for them, and have never actually used them. So today is the first day I actually get to use all these cool podcasting apps that I have. So sweet.
Judging by the intro that you played for us, it appears you are well suited for this. So.
Okay, everyone. So Weaver Radio, it is definitely a podcast that we plan on doing on a weekly basis for you guys, for web designers, and especially with a spin towards RapidWeaver, right? Since both Greg and myself develop heavily for the RapidWeaver community. But if you are just a straight web designer, you'll get a lot out of this as well. We definitely want to keep this to around 30 minutes, so it's a nice, short, and quick, soundbite that you can listen to on the way to work or whatever. So in today's episode, what I think we're going to be talking about is kind of just looking back at 2017 and things that we've done, maybe a small introduction of ourselves, who we are, and where to get a hold of us and things of that nature. And then we're going to jump into kind of what we've done last year and lessons learned and things of that nature. Greg, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Love to. Thanks. So, Greg Barshard. I run Chili Dog Software and Chili Dog Hosting. Been around the RapidWeaver community since, feels like eons, almost a decade now. I started in grad school. I just started programming. Weaver FM, I think, was my first one. It was when you had to start to do all those the wedding circuit, so you needed tools for people to share those photos that we collected from all my friends' weddings. So I made WeaverBox and Weaver FM as a way to have all those guests upload their photos, collect the photos, so that we can, enjoy the events. Been doing it ever since now.
Sweet.
Yeah. Joe doesn't need any introduction. I mean, he is Joe Workman.
Oh, please.
Right?
My fame is greatly exaggerated. But anyway, hopefully, if you don't know me, I am Joe Workman, and I've been making add-ons for RapidWeaver since 2009. Well, that's when I sold my first add-on. I think I released the first one for free in 2008, so almost 10 years, which is kind of exciting, right? So we'll be getting more to it in the next episode, but right now you can find all my stuff at joeworkman.net. In the future, that might be changing really soon, but joeworkman.net, I have over 150 add-ons for RapidWeaver, mostly Stacks, right? Shout out to Isaiah over at Yourhead for Stacks, amazing plugin. I owe my life to him right now. So my cool indie life that I have and enjoy. Thank you, Isaiah. We love you. So 2017, Greg, what did you do? What did you think you had? What did you think you did right in 2017? How about that? Did you release anything cool?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a busy year. I mean, it feels like it flew by, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because I was just, in preparation for this, I was thinking a lot about, how quickly it just felt like it passed by and how little felt like I got accomplished, but always want to do more, right? Some of the highlights of 2017 in my mind, big updates to Forms Plus. Forms Plus is this multi-step contact wizard that I released, and I was finally able to get some of the bigger features that people requested in there, and I still have a lot more to do. Big updates to Gridiron. That was a lot of work to try to bring that to users. A lot of the fundamentals that go behind Gridiron to make it fast, make it searchable, make it sortable.
Now, Gridiron's your stack that lets you create HTML tables, right? And bring it in from
it's a lot like it's a lot like your Power Grid.
Yeah. Gridiron's awesome, everybody, and go check it out.
Yeah. Power Grid is, Power Grid. I'm just joking.
See, who said you can't be competitors and friends? See, look at that.
Yeah, of course. No, I mean, probably the other thing that I was happy to get out is just a new website for Chili Dog software. Didn't get new Chili Dog hosting site live, but I got a Chili Dog software site live, which felt really good to get off my plate.
You redid your logo in 2017, right? Was that in 2017 or 2016?
No, it was.
I thought you revamped it a little bit or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years. It might have been 2015.
Oh, wow, man, time flies.
Yeah,
that was crud.
That was a very dark day. That was a very dark time. It was like probably about 4 months of not being a happy person.
Yeah.
For background for our listeners, I had my former company name used to be Java Bean Hosting and Java Bean Software, and Oracle was kind enough to send me a cease and desist because of a trademark around the terms Java and software in the name. They could have taken it a lot worse, according to my lawyer, but I had to come up with a new name and new business as quickly as possible.
Wow.
Thankfully, I fell onto something that I'm happy with, but it was dark. It was a very dark day.
Man, yeah, I remember just talking to you when that happened. That was just like, I couldn't believe that. Why would Oracle even care? Like, they're Oracle, and it's like Java Bean. There was no conflict. Whatever. We won't dive into open old wounds, but I love what you've done with Chili Dog since, and I really love, like I said, that new logo that you did. I thought I swore you revamped it like a year ago or so, but I love it. It's great.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So how about you, Joe? What do you think you've done particularly well in the last year?
Man, you know what? Like you said, it's time goes so fast that, I thought I was going to release and do a whole lot more in 2017. I am working on a new site design, and I swore that was going to happen in 2017, which I also swore I was going to do in 2016 and 2015, but, it's like the shoemaker's complex where you make shoes for everyone else but not yourself, or whatever that is, that saying. But I did do some cool stuff in 2017. Released some really, really nice stuff, some new stuff. My email stacks, which we're going to be talking more in depth in a couple more episodes about email. But I have an entire suite of drag and drop email stacks, and that's been a really big hit. Users are really loving it. It's basically like Foundation, for those users that are using Foundation to build your website. It's exactly like that, but for email. So drag and drop of all of that stuff. But, making all of that is so much different. As you know, Greg, HTML for email is so different than it is for, building a web page, because, you do have to develop for the lowest common denominator, which in email's case is Outlook. And man, if you think Internet Explorer is bad, like Outlook is, it's even worse, dude. It sucks, like so bad. Yep. So, yeah, email stack's really cool. It does a lot of the, obviously behind the scenes, it does all the heavy work for you, right? Yep. Another big one actually this year was SiteLock. SiteLock's a powerful plugin that it's not RapidWeaver specific. That web designers have been using SiteLock for years. But they've been integrating it into RapidWeaver, just using, because it's just some PHP scripts and includes that you need to include in your project. But it was a little tricky for most people. So I've been having, actually for years, I've been wanting to create my own user login, add-on for RapidWeaver. But finally, I just realized that I was never going to accomplish all the other things that I wanted to do. So in order to speed that process up, I just decided, everyone's already using SiteLock, and it is a great plugin. So I just created a set of stacks that leverage SiteLock. So
interesting.
Yeah, it's nice. I used it for the RapidWeaver conference and a couple other small things, and it works well. It's a great user management tool, right? It just works, and it's really simple to set up, and it's It's pretty inexpensive. I think it was like $40 per domain, right? Which for what you get is pretty good, right? So one-time fee for $40 for SiteLock, right? And then my stacks are a one-time fee for however many websites you want, right? But yeah. So what else? How about you? Back to you. What was your biggest accomplishment you think in 2017?
Oh man, biggest accomplishment. That's quite a threshold.
No pressure here. No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. Now probably the coolest thing that I probably did, probably the later half. I think a lot of the stuff in the early first 6 months just kind of led up to more stuff at the end of the year. So, that's when I was able to work on stuff like the database integration for Forms Plus and figure out how that works. And it's really cool because in RapidWeaver you can build a contact form and you can change it. But when you have a database, when you have a MySQL database, those are typically fixed databases, right? So Forms Plus will automatically do the migration for you. So if you added an extra contact form or contact field, that automatically gets saved into the database, and it'll do the migration to add that column to the database for you automatically.
So Forms Plus actually creates the database table and maintains it for you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's pretty slick. That is pretty slick, everybody.
Yeah. So once you give it the, database server username password, that's it. That's it. And if you had multiple Forms Plus on your site, they can all go to the same database, and it adds an extra column that lets you distinguish which form it was. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. That was probably one of my favorite things.
That is pretty cool.
How about you? What's your pride and joy for 2017?
I spent a lot of time on Total CMS this year. Probably way more than I should have, but it got a lot of focus. It's actually been like my main focus for like 2 years straight. And it will be a big focus this year as well. So last year I really shipped Total CMS 1.4 that really revamped the blog and enhanced that a lot. So that was really cool. Well, that was cool. I actually think one of my favorite technical implementations was my new video wall stack is really cool, where it allows you to bring in a playlist from YouTube or Vimeo or your own HTML5 videos, and you can build like a wall of videos. And and you can mix and match, so you can have bring in an entire playlist from YouTube and then mix in some of your own videos as well if you want. So, or multiple playlists from YouTube and stuff. So it's really cool. And I kind of took it to a level where basically like it runs its own little web service on your web server, and then the stack just uses like Ajax to call it in. So it's like in an own encapsulated little web service, So from a technical perspective, I was really happy with that code. It was just I was patting myself on the back for a while on that one. It's really cool stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
It sounds similar to WeaverPix, which is one of my things that I didn't get to in 2017 that I wanted to. Now, WeaverPix, Joe knows, but not everybody knows, is it has the same kind of idea where it takes all your images from an array of sources and aggregates them into, a slideshow, a gallery, or some sort.
See? Great minds think alike.
Yeah. I just wanted to get it out into the world six months ago.
Yeah. I understand, dude. Totally.
Yeah.
I also released another cool stack. Probably my last release of this year was a stack called Agent, right? Which, there's a lot of people that want to have like different layouts from mobile to desktop, right? And what they do is they, like in stacks, at least they have like the, hide this stack settings and all this, every stack has that, or most stacks have that setting, right? But what a lot of people don't realize is that feature, like it just hides it. It doesn't actually so if you have if you hide a stack that has like 10 images on it, right? Those images are still on the page, right? So maybe you're hiding those on mobile, but they're still actually there and still actually loading in the background, right? So what Agent does is it uses PHP on the server to not even send that data down to the mobile device, right? So that was a cool accomplishment, and it was really cool to see how users used that, and then that made me iterate and add some more features. So like Agent can do like URL handling, it'll do like multi-language stuff now, which is really cool. So but it all does it on the server. So, there are other stacks out there that do all that stuff, but basically it just hides or shows content on the web page. So in effect, it's just hiding stuff. Everything is still getting downloaded on everything. So by hiding that stuff on the server, it never brings that stuff down. So that was a really simple stack, but a really cool one, because I think it was a paradigm shift for some people, and they really saw some nice benefits of that. So that was really cool.
Yeah. It's definitely better for SEO and those kind of things, and page speed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, SEO and page speed are very tightly coupled nowadays, because, they want to make sure your page downloads are quick. So
yeah. What do you think was the biggest, or some of the less life lessons from 2017?
So, my last thing, I'd say my lesson from, so the I had Weaver Space conference this year, and, I had the first one in 2016, and I did another one in 2017. And I learned a lot from the first conference, and I do think the conference in 2017 was actually smoother. It went better. The technology that I used was more efficient, but I didn't properly market that conference well. Just from a business standpoint, I was so busy implementing stuff that I forgot to market it properly, and it was really like I didn't really market it until like 6 weeks before a conference. And you can't really do that. You can't expect, a lot of people to, come and take, 2-3 days off and join your conference with just, a month and a half, notice. So this year I'm definitely, going to try to plan ahead a little bit further, get people more advanced notice. But I think, the conference itself was definitely a success. It went really well. Like I said, I just think that I could have influenced more people and got more people to attend, if I had, marketed and done a better job, getting the word out earlier. So
yeah, that's something I struggle with, is the working on the business versus working in the business.
Yep.
You can't always be doing the fun stuff. You have to do stuff that's sometimes outside your comfort zone. I mean, you like to market and do those things too, but not everybody does, right?
Yeah. So no. Even for me, like, I try to portray, myself as an outgoing person, but there are times where you don't want to do it. You just get lazy, and you're like, I don't want to, risk myself out and get myself out there and put myself out there, and, people, reject it or whatnot. It's tough. Do a podcast. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So how about you, Greg? What was your biggest thing in 2017 that you think you could have improved on or done better?
It was probably beginning of 2017. It was a rough learning experience, and it was kind of just shocking. And what happened, I run Chili Dog Hosting, right? Mm-hmm. And part of what I do is I try to make informed decisions for users and do what is best for them without them having to worry about it.
Yeah.
So, I take that as part of the service. And if you go to another company, they're typically just going to stick you on a server, and you're going to get that server. You'll never move. You'll never, and that's fine. I try to always use the latest and greatest hardware, the latest and greatest software packages to make sure, your site's being accelerated. I'm basically doing whatever I can to make your site as fast as possible, as scalable as possible, etc. Sometimes that involves moving hardware, because you can't necessarily just swap hard drives or change the motherboard, and instantly get that extra speed. So in the beginning of 2017, I was looking at what it would take to scale users' sites even more. And I had moved into a new data center with better connectivity, better hardware. At least that's what I thought, right? And it turned out it did not work as well. All the preliminary tests, were great. The biggest nail in the coffin was just dealing with the data center support to address the issue. And my business hurt. I unfortunately learned that a lot of people don't care about some of those things, that I care about. They don't care about, using faster hardware, using better networks to serve their web pages with better connectivity to, Europe and all these other all these other regions in the world. But I also learned that I do have a lot of customers that do care and do appreciate it. So that's, a little reassuring. But, when people leave, I still take it very personally. And I know it's part of the business and my wife still yells at me about it, but I care about the websites I host. So, I don't think that's ever going to change, but, just learning the fact that people don't necessarily care about that. They only care about, can I get to my website? I know, and I understand the frustrations. So I just kind of had to decide that I can't necessarily chase those people. I have to, work with the people that care about the things that I care about. So.
Well, I definitely think you've been successful at that because of all the, if you look at all the hosting threads on the forum, like the people that are host with you, all of them are like, never regretted being with Greg. He does amazing work and whatnot. So yeah, everyone, if you're looking for a host, and Greg has the best customer service of any hosting company out there. So go check him out.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody's, everybody being vocal in the forums. And I know that's probably the most sincerest form of flattery for me, is just those kind of things.
Oh yeah. I mean, even for me, it's like, there are days I'll work 20-hour days, just, thriving and, trying to, get some code out and, implement a stack, but then, seeing how people use it and how they appreciate it and how it's changed their lives, or, it's funny to think that, the stuff that we do, Greg, it's like, years ago, I thought it was cool that I got to, make money by, coding up some stacks. I was like, oh, this is cool, and somewhere along the point, my mind shifted where I realized that there are people out there that are making a living because of what we do, right? Because, they're doing they're full-time web designers because of the add-ons and stuff that me and you build, and that's powerful, and that's really stuck with me for the past couple of years. It makes me feel great to know that I'm supporting other people, but with the tools that we make, and that really makes my day at the end of the day. And when I get, I'm sure you get them too, customers that you get customers that leave your hosting company, but even from a software perspective, where someone's like, I want a refund, this thing is horrible, and and I do take those personally too. It's similar, where it's like, oh, like why? Like I put my heart and soul into this, and let me help you work it, get it better. But there are some people out there you really have to just say sorry, say la vie, maybe you'll like the next thing I have, or something like that. But yeah, it is tough.
Yeah, I love the wins, but sometimes if I can't serve that person in the way that they need, then
yeah,
I want them to be happy. So I'll, putting them in the right direction,
Yep.
That's how it is.
Cool. Well, I think we are hitting the time, everyone, for this episode. Episode 2, we're going to be talking about what exciting things we're doing this year in 2018. I know I got some cool stuff. You got some cool stuff coming up, Greg?
You bet.
Sweet, everyone. We will see you in episode 2. Later.
Later, Joe.